What's up, guys? So check it out. I just want to share about this. I think it's really important for me to share, and as I get stronger and as my journey continues, I will share further. But I'm letting myself have some fun, for lack of a better way to put it. Last night I watched the movie. Now, the things I eat, I used to a lot more often when I would allow myself to have fun after long periods of discipline or strong commitment, etc., or significant periods, if not long but significant, or both. I would allow myself to basically take breaks. The reason I share these things is because I want other people to be encouraged to know that you got to keep moving. And when you let yourself take a break, for lack of a better way to put it, when you let yourself enjoy less than extremely disciplined habits or behaviors, from my experience, it's been a part of it. However, now they're slightly different. For example, I do try to go for slightly better things. Now, these aren't necessarily my favorite healthy type thing, but instead of getting just any regular chips, I do try to get some better chips and I enjoy them. Same thing with like a salsa, for example. Instead of just getting some like salsa, for example, with there's some ingredients, all real ingredients. Instead of trying to get salsa that maybe has like hydrogenated oil in it, or something that's just like some name or something that I can't even pronounce or I don't know what it is, I try to get things that I can pronounce. For example, I got some hummus. See, normally the reason these things are a luxury to me, the reason these things are a pleasure for me, first of all, is because I actually enjoy them very much. I got tortillas, I got a chicken. But another reason is because you don't get the most bang for your buck with these things, in my opinion, for lack of a better way to put it. These things don't give you the most bang for your buck when it comes to nutrients and benefits to your body and to your well-being. However, I do believe enjoying your life as well is a part of a healthy life, and then getting back to a very strong discipline as well. I think that's a very amazing part of a healthy life too. So I'm just learning. This is as far as I've experienced. This is, in my opinion, thus far, and I will continue to evolve. But for example, I used to give myself breaks. I've been doing this for a couple years, and my breaks used to really get out of control, and they got stronger and stronger and better. And I don't want you to get discouraged by having time to enjoy yourself as well, but always pushing towards getting back on a more strictly disciplined kind of path, whatever that may be for you. For me, I've developed it to something a little bit, like I said, a little bit stronger. Like I said, I used to have breaks, and I would let my break consist of things like going to eat donuts. Taco Bell's one of my favorite ones. Smoking, cigarettes. I enjoy smoking cigarettes. It's odd though, because they're so pointless and they're so really much disgusting and just they make you smell. But I'm not gonna pretend that I don't enjoy them. But they're so pointless. They're so useless. They're so worthless. Anyways, I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything at all. Like I said, I enjoy them for whatever reason. But I used to let that part be a part of my break. I used to let that be a part of my pleasure. And like I said, other things like donuts or drinking, allow myself to go drink, which was it was just the point that I was at. But I've gotten so much stronger over time, so much better. And I'm starting to really understand a lot more how to balance it all. So like I said, I just wanted to share this. The reason I take this as pleasure, as a good, fun time, etc., is because I'm not really getting the most bang for my buck. All the ingredients in this bag are not necessarily incredibly nutritious for my body. Obviously, there's maltodextrin, in there, but even if it's in low amounts, but all this stuff is not necessarily top quality for my life, for my health, or for my performance, etc. But I also do like to still be conscious of the choices I make when I do allow myself to have fun. But I learned that over time. And like I said, this is just an example of mine. If your example still consists of donuts and smoking, I don't encourage that you stay there, but I encourage that you don't make yourself feel like shit. And if you are disappointed with yourself to some extent, it's not completely wrong, but also don't just be stuck in being mad with yourself. It's more important that you enjoy what you need, then do your best to get back on some disciplined, strong path as soon as possible so that you can keep learning. Because the more you learn, the more you develop, the more results you start to see, and the more desire you start to build, the more passion, the more vision, the more commitment, the more discipline, the more skills, the more ability. So when you get off track and you allow yourself to have some fun, whatever level that is for you, try not to just get stuck in feeling shitty about it. Do your best, allow yourself to enjoy it to some extent, and also be happy that you are disappointed at least a little bit with it if you stick with it too long, and do your best to get back. But that's something you learn as you go, and I encourage that no matter what, you keep pushing in the right direction. And if you ever give yourself a break, like I said, my breaks used to be a little bit excessive or a little bit extreme. I finally figured that out. They just weren't working out, but I learned that over time. So don't necessarily put yourself down while you're learning, but also don't give yourself excessive excuses to not keep learning and keep pushing in the right direction. For example, one more thing I want to share you guys. For example, I really like cereal and milk. It's one of my favorite things. Well, I have been able to develop that or evolve that into things like granola. I have a video I'm gonna share later that I took yesterday, but if you can see, the ingredients are all fairly legit, actually completely legit. And then instead of milk, I use coconut water. But I could just go buy myself like a half a gallon of milk at the 99-cent store and like $1 bag of some like cheap Lucky Charms, which I would love. It's my favorite. But that, I wouldn't allow that anymore. But I used to. Or I could go let myself get like a bunch of donuts from the 99-cent store or Twinkies and go get myself like a half a gallon of milk. And I used to allow that. And that's okay that I used to, because I was just learning. However, I did find out that that was a bit excessive eventually. So I do evolve. For example, this is why I don't eat these things on a regular basis. But like, I got a flax muffin. I'm enjoying my day. Last night I had like a movie night. I got some of this ice cream over here just last night, and today I've been doing this because I had been on a very fair to say very strict I look for the sweeteners a lot too. I want to see what kind of sweeteners they use. I'm just learning about this kind of stuff, but there's certain sweeteners that are not necessarily what you want, and even there are some that are better. My point is that I'm going to share a little bit more on further videos about also more or less why I'm letting myself take a little break, a little halftime, more or less, because I'm very committed and very disciplined and very confident and trust myself, and I'm gonna push forward with a lot of other things, like I have been. I've been pushing myself, and I'm only gonna continue to push myself strong. For example, this thing has a bunch of veggies in there. There's spinach, there's broccoli, there's ginger, there's radishes, there's fennel. I got bee pollen, and I got a bunch of other stuff, and I'm gonna go get a bunch more vegetables, and I got a NutriBullet, and I got a juicer. I got a lot of things going on that I'm gonna really get into, really almost obsessively, completely obsessively. And so I allow myself to enjoy my day. Not to say I don't enjoy being completely focused and disciplined, but it is challenging, and emotionally a lot of times eating helps me. And when I'm going through these very disciplined, strong, basically day after day, flawless execution, basically, for lack of a better way to put it, there's a lot of emotional challenges that come with that. And then knowing that I allowed myself to have this day where I allowed myself to eat the food I wanted and enjoy my day with the food that I cared to enjoy. Then when those days come up at a later time, when I'm going through those intense emotional experiences, and I'm on a very intense, disciplined, day after day kind of routine, then I don't care to feel bad about not allowing myself to just go use food to comfort myself, not excessively. For example, bananas comfort me to some extent, but bananas I can implement, or I can make a part of a very disciplined day-to-day execution, a very disciplined, very focused, flawless type of execution. I can make bananas a part of that kind of day, but a salsa I cannot, because like I said, there's not enough bang for your buck in this salsa. A chicken I can't, because it's just too much food, and for me there's just not enough bang for your buck in these kinds of things. Tortillas, hummus, there might be a lot of nutritional value to these things, but for me, I prefer to do very strong, a lot of times raw vegetable or peanut seeds, fish, like some good fish, or peanut seeds, eggs, things that really, there's a lot more, and I'll share more about that in later videos. So I just want to encourage people, if you allow yourself to take a break from your very disciplined, very focused path, do it, enjoy it, and work towards getting back on a path so you can continue to grow, strengthen, learn, develop skills, etc. Discipline, commitment. I encourage it. And then as well, if you do feel bad about getting off track or allowing yourself to take a break, it's not necessarily a bad thing that you feel bad. That shows that you care. But also don't feel too stupid bad if you're really serious about getting back on track. And if you're really serious about putting in the work to continue to improve and self-develop. And do your best to get back to it. And it's going to be an interesting experience. As far as I remember from like last year, sometimes you're not sure how to get back on track, but just keep pushing. All right, guys, talk to y'all later. Peace out.